All right. We're podcasting. We're doing I'm recording a podcast now. My name is Joshua Snyder. And I am a comedian insofar as one can be a comedian in an era where it is literally deadly to be a comedian. And this is my podcast. If you've never listened to my podcast before, there's a lot of things I don't do that other people who do podcasts do. I don't have guests. I don't really prepare what I'm going to say. I don't really have much of an agenda. The idea is that I basically riff for 20 minutes. And hopefully, of that 20 minutes of riffing, one of those minutes is truly enjoyable. And the rest is me grasping, panicking, running around like a chicken with my head cut off, going, what do I talk about? I don't know. I'm looking at a lady. I'm in the car on the way to work, looking at a lady wearing very tight pants. Feeling guilty that I'm looking at the tight pants. Stop looking at these people like they are objects. These are human beings, Josh. How dare you? Wow. And there's this other guy who just blew through the intersection at, he must have been going 60 miles an hour. This is basically a side street. I don't know how anybody can be in that big of a rush right now, when everything is closed, when the pandemic is raging. Unless you're an ambulance and you're trying to go to the hospital, who needs to be going 80 miles an hour on a side street? But then again, I don't know what's going on in that person's world. Maybe they are rushing to the hospital. Or maybe somebody has opened a portal to another dimension. Dare I say hell. And the guy with all the pins in his head is saying, I will show you such pleasure and such pain. And he's saying, I would rather not experience that right now. So he's frantically driving to go find a little box thing that was in Hellraiser. I forget the name of it. That's the thing that opens the portal. The little puzzle box thing. It has a name. I don't know what it is. That should have been in the movie. Pinhead should have forgotten the name of the puzzle box thing. Yes, you must use this to open a portal to hell. What is it? It's a puzzle box thing. It has a name, and it just I used to know what it was, but when you have all these pins in your head, it affects memory. These pins go deep. There are things I can no longer do because my head is pins now. Basic algebra, gone. Can't do basic algebra. I can control chains telepathically. But if I need to calculate a tip at a restaurant, good luck with that. Now this is going to be bothering me the entire time I record this. What was the name of that thing? It wasn't the Pandorica. That's a Doctor Who thing. Maybe it was just called a puzzle box. Oh no, it was somebody's name. It was a something cube. Because then in Hellraiser 3, I think they actually they show the guy building it. It was not a Tesseract. Ah, doggone it. Now that's going to be bothering me. I saw The Wind Rises. It was the last movie that Miyazaki made. Finally saw it for the first time. And the same thing happens where I hear the voice of the actor and I can't think of the name. I used to be more neurotic about it. Now I just wait for the credits to roll and go, oh, that's his name. And off we go. And now, and I can't remember the guy's name again. I must be getting older. What do you mean I must be getting older? Of course I'm getting older. It's either that or all the pins in my head. Hey, call back, he did a call back. Oh my. Now here's what's going on in my head. I'm trying to think of the name of the puzzle box, and I'm trying to think of the name of the damn actor in the voice actor in The Wind Rises. I think the guy's German. It's not Christoph Waltz. It's the director guy who directed... and now I can't think of the name of the movie he directed. This is comical. I'm 38 going on 92 here. Or I'm just tired. I had a fitful sleep. I watched Highlander 2, the Renegade edition last night, which I maintain is my favorite movie of the 20th century. Just the fact that they just totally retconned the entire movie and just came up, they just... Because in the first Highlander, you have these people on Earth who, for some reason, are immortal. They never explain why. And they all have to fight each other, and the last one alive gets the ultimate power. But they never explain who these people are, how they got this power. And then in the second movie, they went, yeah, they're from the planet Zaz. Although in the Renegade edition, they changed it from being from the planet Zaz to being from the distant past. And yet in the distant past, they have security cameras. It's very confusing. And that's why I love it. That is why I love it. And why... one of the conceits of the movie is the main character calls out the name of his friend, played by Sean Connery. Calls the name Ramirez. If he just shouts the name Ramirez, Sean Connery appears. That is cool in any movie. I want the ability to do that. I want to shout Ramirez, and then there's Ramirez. I want that right now. Even harder now because the guy just passed away. Sean Connery. Man, what a guy. I think he made it to like 90, didn't he? He was in his 90s. He really hung in there. Presumably. And then when I'm trying to think of the name, I go through the alphabet. Ba ba be be ba ba boo. Ka ga ki ke ka go goo da da dee day do do ye fa 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 j j j. La 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 ma 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 na 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 pa 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 qua 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 ra 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 sa 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 ta 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 va 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 wa 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 six six yeah 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 z z z. I can't think of the guy's name. He was in The Mandalorian. He was the director. The director guy. Very eccentric. Sounds like this a little bit. Oh, that's going to be bothering me. Oh, I don't like looking it up because I feel like I'm losing my ability to remember things because I just default to Google. It's not Viggo Mortensen, but I feel like it's... The name kind of sounds like Viggo Mortensen, maybe. I just have to relax and let it come to me. And here's the other weird thing about memory. I've been playing video games recently. Computer games, to be more specific. And one of the games that I'm playing was a game that a friend of mine played 10 years ago, and I watched him play parts of it. And as I get to those points in the game, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what he did. Oh right, that's what he did. And I would not have... if I never played the game again, I never would have remembered those things again, and yet, once I played the game again, I remembered it. So I do get the sense that even if I can't remember something, it's still there. And I find that notion fascinating. And maybe, if it's still there, maybe there is something greater. And maybe if I die, the consciousness or something will still remain. Which could be wonderful or awful. Because it might be terrible to be just a disembodied soul flying through the spheres going, what was the name of the guy's director? What was the name again? What was the guy's damn name again? And what's the name of that cube? The Guy in the Cube. I think that might be the name of this podcast. The Guy and that guy in that cube. Driving by the Handy Market, which is a staple in Burbank, widely regarded as one of Burbank's premier markets. And I got to tell you something, the name bothers me. And I mean no offense to the people running it. I've been in there before. It is a lovely market. But there's something about the handy that, I don't know, it's very, it's just very, what is it? Handy. I don't think of culinary, I don't think of tasty stuff when I think of handy. Handy is like, isn't that what, that's where you get a hammer. Building supplies. Home Depot feels handy to me. Like, I've never eaten a delicious steak and went, that's handy. I don't think handy, I think, delicious. But then again, now that I bring that up, I mean, are any of the supermarket names really... I mean, why do we trust a guy named Ralph so much? For all of our food needs. I'm going to go to Ralph's. Which I'm assuming was started by a guy named Ralph. I would assume. It would be weird if it was started by a multi-billion-dollar corporation and they're like, let's call it Ralph, to make people think that there's a guy named Ralph. But it's really a board of directors. Because we can't call it board of directors. We can't call it corporation supermarket. We can't call it, honey, I need to pick up some milk. I'm going to go to the limited liability corporation supermarket. Need anything else? Well, if you need me, I'm just going to run down to the limited liability corporation supermarket for a minute. Grab a few things. Hey, honey, by the way, what was the name of the guy who... He played a small role in The Mandalorian. I think he's German. He's a director and also a documentary filmmaker. He also did one of the voices in that Miyazaki movie, The Wind Rises, that we just watched last night. What's the guy's name again? Is it Albert something? No, don't Google it. I want to see if I can remember it myself, honey. He made the thing called the Cave of Forgotten Dreams. No, you don't remember? Okay. All right. Well, I'll get the milk. I'll be back later. Yeah, to be a person who can go out and get milk. I'm allergic to milk. I don't cook. I don't live with anybody. And I can't remember the name of this guy. And I bet you remember it. I bet you know exactly who I'm talking about. And you're sitting there shouting the name, but I can't hear you because this will have been... You won't be hearing this until after I post it. This is so frustrating. It's like Viggo Mortensen, but not. I think I'm close. I looked it up twice, and I still can't remember it. And now I'm freaking out, because my grandmother died of Alzheimer's. My grandfather died of dementia. Is it happening now? Is it already coming down? Is it over? Are we at the end? Didn't his name start with an A? Abraham Alt. He made that movie about the guy who moved the boat across the rainforest. I'm trying to record a podcast, and I'm just obsessed with the guy in the cube. This is going to bother me until I either look it up or remember it. I was hoping I would remember it at the end of the podcast now, because that would be like just perfect. But we're getting to the end of it, and I'm not going to go on for an hour. I could just look it up on Google, but I feel like that's cheating. Let me see if I can... ba, ba, be, be, ba, bo. Ka, ki, ke, kai, ko, ku. Da, da, di, de, di, do, do. E, a, I, o. Fa, fa, fi, fe, fi, fo, fu. Ga, ja. Ga, 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 ga. Ja, 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 ka, 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 la. I can't believe that I'm recording this and documenting me trying to remember this guy's name. La, la, li, le, la, la, lu. Ma, ma, mi, me, my, mo, mu. No, is it ma? Is it mama? Mar? Ma, pa, pa, pi, pe, pa, pa, pu. Qua, qua, qui, que, qua, ra, ra, ri, re, ra, ru. Sa, sa, si, se, sai, so, su. Ta, ta, ti, te, tai, to, tu. Va, va, vi, ve, vi, va, vu. Wa, wa, we, we, wa, wa, wu. Va, wa. Wait, is it va? Is there a va in there? Va, va, vi, ve, vi, va, vu. Wa, wa, we, we, wa, wa, wu. Sak, sak, sik, sek, sak, su. Ya, 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 you. Za, za, zi, zai, zai, zo, zu. Wa? There's a va. I think there's a va. There's a va? I keep going back to Viggo Mortensen, but it's not Viggo Mortensen. I can't waste any more of your time or mine. Or do I just... All right, I'm just going to Google it. Because I can't... I don't want to leave you in the lurch either. I just Wikipedia'd it, and it gives the... Oh, here we go. Okay. All right, guys. Werner Herzog! Werner Herzog! Werner Herzog! And what's the name of the cube in Hellraiser? I'm going to Google that too while we're at it. Oh, I guess it's just called the puzzle box. Ah! Le Marchand box. There it is. All right, guys. Werner Herzog, Le Marchand box. Let's not forget it, okay? Let's not have to go through this again. So write it down now. Okay? Write it down. I already forgot the guy's name again. What is wrong with me? Werner Herzog. Werner Herzog, everybody. Say it. Werner Herzog. Werner Herzog. Werner Herzog. LaMarshawn Cube, Werner. You never know where you're going to be in a situation where, you're dangling at the edge of a cliff, and the guy's like, "I'll save you, but you got to tell me the name of the guy who, kind of had the German accent-ish, and who was in The Mandalorian, and also narrated the Bear documentary thing. Werner Herzog. All right, we're going to save your life."